Good morning, students. This is Dr. K. Venkata Subba Reddy, Professor and HOD, Department of Computer Science and Engineering. So I will teach cloud computing, an elective subject for final B.TECH CSE students for this academic year. Now let us share the PPT. Agenda of cloud computing is why cloud computing is required, what exactly cloud computing means, and what are various service models available in the market offering by the cloud, and what are various cloud deployment models available in the market. And finally, we will discuss about cloud providers, top 10 cloud providers available in the market. Now we will see in the video session. So let us move to next slide. Why the name as a cloud? We are calling as this is a cloud computing. Why we name as a cloud and what is cloud computing? We will discuss now. If you see the earlier days before cloud computing, so the internet will be in the form of a structure of network. Everything will be in the form of a network. So the term cloud came from the network design only. That was used by the network engineers in earlier days. It seems to be the shape of the network design was just like a cloud. That's why we named this as a cloud. Why cloud computing is required is the question. So let me clarify that why exactly cloud computing is required for our day-to-day scenario. Nowadays, if you observe in the market, so without cloud, we cannot afford that, and we are using fully cloud services. We will see why it is required cloud computing. Now we will discuss in this session. If you observe the diagram here, two persons are communicating each other. The first person will be in the on-premises side, and another person will be in the form of a cloud side. So let us see what will happen in the on-premises side. If a person want to set up a company, IT company, so in his on premises, what he really required is he has to require to buy a bulk servers. For that, he need to spend lot of amount for that also. Once the servers are stack of servers are available, he need to place those servers in a huge room. Huge space is required to keep the servers in a particular room. And for maintaining those servers in a huge room, he need to recruit high qualified or skilled persons, and the skilled persons will monitor and they may assess the performance of the cloud and the performance of the uh, infrastructure available in the on-premises. And finally, he has to provide data security for his on-premises. So these will be raised the questions what he exactly required for setting an IT infrastructure in his on-premises. For that, he has to spend a lot of money. So finally, he came to the conclude that he came into the picture, and he has to conclude that he required bulk servers, he required huge space, and he required a lot of team for maintaining the server. For that, he has to spend lot of money. So to overcome the problem, so another person has came into the picture, and he gave suggestion. He suggested him, instead of setting own infrastructure at on premises, better go for utilizing the cloud services available in the market. And the other person finally conclude that cloud computing is the best technology for adopting the earlier days what we are using infrastructure. Instead of that, we just go for adopting our new technology into the market to overcome all the problems we are facing in the earlier days. So this is the conversation between the person one and person two. Finally, they conclude that cloud computing is the best technology for replacing the older environment set up into the on-premises. And here there are various technologies or various files we are using in our day-to-day life, like we are using files, the digital files and digital music also we are working on that, and e-books also we are reading in our daily life, and we are accessing some videos also, digital videos and applications also. So all this stuff will be considered as a digital data. This is the digital data. The digital data will be in the form of files, in the form of a music, in the form of ebooks, and in the form of videos, or in the form of various applications. This will be considered as this will consider as a set of bulk data, digital data. So this set of digital data, we need to share the data into the people. We need a particular host for that. Where we need to host is the best solution is cloud computing. If you are not utilizing cloud computing services, what we will do is we need to store this digital data into our local drive. If we want to store the digital data into our local drive or local computer system, we need to provide infrastructure, and we need to provide software services, and we need to provide and blog servers we need to maintain, and many experts also need for maintaining those servers also. So to overcome the problem, cloud computing is one of the emerging technology or one of the best technology for replace the old scenario into the new era scenario in nowadays in the market. If you observe here, this lot of data will be stored where we have a doubt. So we need to storing the data into our local hard disk. Instead of that, we need to simply host the data, digital data into the cloud. Next. So in our day-to-day life, the computers will be generating lot of data. The generated data will be stored into the local systems, but the local system is having limited space. And these all the stuff are generated data will be just moved into the cloud with the help of the technology that is known as a cloud computing. That's why we name as a cloud. Why we name this one as a cloud is nothing but the structure of internet will be seen like that a cloud. That's why we can call it as a cloud. Now we will see the exactly what is cloud computing. If you see the definition of cloud computing, it is defined as storing and accessing data and programs over the internet instead of your computer's hard drive is known as cloud computing, which means that storing and accessing the data. Suppose, for example, we have a set of data. The data will be hosted into the internet whenever we require or wherever we require. We need to access the data through internet services remotely. That is known as cloud computing. Here we need to process the data. Sometimes we need to host the data into the website. That is called as a cloud computing. Simply we can conclude that simply we can conclude that here cloud computing is nothing but storing the data and accessing the data through remotely in the internet is known as a cloud computing. Next. So here let me explain the architecture of the cloud computing. Now I will explain the architecture of the cloud computing. What is cloud computing exactly? I will explain here. If you observe here, the end user here, what the end user will be called? The end user will be considered as a software developer. What is the duty of software developer? The job of software developer is he has to develop an application. The application is any digital application related to software. The end user initially developed an application. After developing the application, he has to store the developed application into a computer system. The developed application stored into a computer system. So here we are maintaining a servers, bulk server, server 1, server 2 and server 3. We all are interconnected to the networking technology. All are interconnected to the networking technology. Once the developed application hosted or stored into the server, what will we do after that? The servers need to connect into the internet with the help of the tools. The server connected to the internet after that. So once the server connected into the internet, the user is having permission to access or to store the developed application, or he has to host the developed application into the cloud with the help of the internet. With the help of the internet. Once the developed application hosted into the internet, so whenever we require or wherever the end users require, they may access or download the data remotely from the cloud with the help of the internet. So this is known as a cloud computing architecture. And finally, once again, I will brief that the software developer developed an application. The developed application stored into the servers. The server is to be remotely connected to the cloud computing with the help of the internet, and the developed application hosted into the internet, hosted into the cloud with the help of the internet. Once the developed application hosted into the internet, whenever we require or wherever we require, the end users directly accessing the data with the help of internet from the cloud. That is known as cloud computing architecture. Next, very important one is models in the cloud computing. Nowadays, there are various models available in cloud computing. We will see what are the various familiar models available in cloud computing now. And there are two kinds of models in cloud computing, and one is deployment model and another one is service model. And each one is having their own different types of clouds and their own different types of services we have observed in this slide. Now coming to the point of deployment models. What are various deployment models available in the cloud computing? Let we will see. So there are three types of deployment models available. The first one is cloud, public cloud, and second one is private cloud, and third one is hybrid cloud. Public, private, and hybrid cloud, these three will be considered as a deployment models. We will explain in detail later slide. Okay, so next move to the service models available. What are the service models available by the cloud computing? Here there are three well-defined service models are there. The first one is infrastructure, and second one is platform, and third one is software. Simply we can call as a IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. IaaS stands for infrastructure as a service, PaaS stands for platform as a service, and SaaS stands for software as a services. So in this slide, we have briefly discussed various deployment models and various service models. So we will briefly explain in the next slide. So let us explain cloud service models in this session. So what exactly cloud service models will be using in the market, we will see here. We already discussed there are three different types of cloud service models available in the market, namely IaaS. IaaS stands for infrastructure as a service. PaaS stands for platform as a service, and SaaS stands for software as a service. These three are considered as the familiar cloud service models. Now we will see the first one is IaaS, infrastructure as a service. If your business needs a virtual machine, just you go for opting infrastructure as a service. Your business needs a virtual machine. When we are using infrastructure as a service, let us see with an example. Infrastructure as a service is the best example for IT administrator. What is the duty of IT administrator in the software industries? The IT administrator duty is he has to control on server or operating systems or hardware, software, and data centers. So the duty of IT administrator in the IT industries, he has the complete control on servers and bulk servers, storage devices, and data centers, and hardware, and operating system. So for that, what we will do, if there is no cloud, what we will do? We need to purchase hardware equipment, we need to purchase operating system, we need to purchase data centers. So instead of that, it is a very huge amount we need to spend for that. Instead of that, what we will do is, so we go for taking the rental from the cloud service providers. So some of the cloud service providers will offering IaaS infrastructure as a services. We just go for taking the rental service from them, and we can use uh, for that our basic needs. And next one is PaaS. PaaS stands for platform as a service. So when we will use platform as a service is nothing but if your company requires a platform, here P stands for a platform. Whenever you want to set up a company, for that you really require a platform for building software products or pick platform as a service, you simply go for opting platform as a services. Some of the example for platform as a services are software developers. So what the software developers will do, so they simply maintain the database and they simply maintain the web servers or they simply maintain the Google app engines. So these three are best examples for PaaS, Google App Engine, web server and database. So here database is a platform, web server is a platform, Google App Engine is a platform. So what Google App Engine will do, if we want to search a particular session, so we simply type on the Google search engine processing it, and whatever we are searching, it will automatically retrieve from the database. That functionality will be do by using the Google App Engine. What database will do? Database is the backend session. So if you want to run a program, if you want to store lot of data into the system, we need to maintain one database. For that, we need to spend servers, huge amount also we need to spend. Sometimes we need to spend for purchasing the database license copy also. So overcome the problem, instead of setting our own setup at on premises, we simply go for rental with the help of platform as a services which are offering by the cloud service providers. Next, move to software as a service. SaaS stands for software as a services. When we are using software as a services, it's nothing but if your business does not want to maintain any IT equipment, then choose software as a service. Best example for software as a service is Gmail. Gmail is the software which are offering by the Google Cloud. And Google Drive is also one of the software offered by the Google. And Office, MS Office, Microsoft Office 365 is also one of the software which can be offered by the Microsoft technologies. And Facebook is also one of the familiar, well-known, and Netflix is also one of the entertainment software we are using in our daily lifestyle. So here, what SAS will do is, what the cloud is, cloud will provide a service, software as a service, which means that if you are really using Gmail, so the Gmail, what the Gmail will do is, Gmail is act as a software as a service, but it can be it can be taking the permission from the Google Cloud. So once we taking the permission from the Google Cloud, we are able to access Gmail functionalities, or we are able to access Google Drive functionalities also. So Microsoft is offering MS Office 365, and Facebook and Netflix are also, so they're having their own independent softwares. Netflix will be connected to the if we want to access Netflix through remotely, so the Netflix simply connected to the one of the cloud that is called as a Amazon Web Services. Let us take a simple real-time example for cloud service models where exactly IaaS, what is exactly PaaS, what is SaaS. We will discuss with a simple example. Suppose if you want to order, you want to eat a pizza. What we will do, let us take with an example software as a services. You want to eating a pizza, what you will do, first you need to order a pizza online. How you will order a pizza online? So you can select an app offered by the pizza, so you need to press the app automatically, so the so order will be communicated to the particular business, and you need to order it online. Once the pizza is ordered online, you will be sit at home and order comes to you, and after that you eat your pizza by sitting at home. For that, here you are utilizing only software as a services. Take an example of a Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza is maintaining one app. The app is working as a software as a services. If you take the help of Domino's Pizza app, what it will do, it will act as a software as a services. No need to maintain any software and no need to maintain purchase any license copy for that. Simply it can utilizing the services offered by the cloud service providers, and it can be simply connected to that, and it can be processed the data. So let us take the same example, apply the same example for platform as a services. In that, going to hotel and eating the pizza, the person who want to eat the pizza, he has to go to hotel and eating the pizza in the hotel itself. That what the hotel will be maintained, the infrastructure is maintained by the hotel, and the infrastructure is not maintained by the vendors. Which type of infrastructure maintained by the hotel is need to maintain, and their own tables and chairs, they need to maintain this type of infrastructure. So restaurant has bother about the platform, and here we don't bother about the customer, no, don't bother about the platform. So this is an example for PaaS, platform as a services. Next, move to IaaS, infrastructure as a services. Just if we apply the same pizza concept for that here, we just go to a head and take a pizza and eat the pizza at hotel, and here the infrastructure is maintained by the hotel, not maintained by the software, not maintained by the end user. Okay, this is an example for that. Next, move to on the slide. So let us discuss about software as a services, SaaS. Here, if you observe some applications which we are using products or services offering by the SaaS are Gmail and Google Cloud is maintaining for that these services, and Gmail and Google Drive and Microsoft Excel, Office PowerPoint, Microsoft Word. These are offering by the Microsoft Office 365. Also, these are offering by the Microsoft Clouds. So, best example for that is end user, end customers. Next one is PaaS. PaaS stands for platform as a service. PaaS stands for platform as a service. So in that platform as a services, some of the past products and services are Amazon Web Services, EBS is one of the product, and Google App Engine is another product, and Microsoft Azure is also one of the service providers which are offering platform as a services in the market. Best example is software developers. Next, move to another slide. IaaS stands for infrastructure as a services. Here, the some of the IaaS cloud service products and services are Go Grid is one of the cloud. Microsoft Azure is another cloud. Amazon Web Services is also another cloud. These are they are providing well-defined services and products for IaaS infrastructure as a services. Next, move to the comparison between these three. What exactly IaaS, PaaS, and software as a services. So let me consider these three, and I can compare these three service providers with on-premises providers. So which means that IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS are well-defined infrastructure platform and software services for cloud computing offering by the cloud computing. Here in this slide, so we will discuss about, we are comparing the cloud services with our on-premises services. If we want to set up the application, data, runtime, middleware, operating system, virtualization, servers, storage, network. So these are required for setting an IT company. If a person want to set up an IT company, he need to buy servers and he need to buy storage capacity and he need to connect the servers into the networking, and finally virtualization is also required for them if they are maintaining a very huge amount of the data for long run, and they need one platform for running the applications and they need one application for processing the data. So here everything, all this stuff is maintaining by the on premises by our own. For that we need to spend lot of money. Next, if you move to the scenario from on-premises to the cloud services, exactly what here they're using is cloud will be provided various services. The first one is infrastructure as a services. IaaS stands for infrastructure as a services. So here the IaaS, once we go for rental for a cloud services, infrastructure as a services, here the virtualization, servers, storage, networking, all these four will be managed by the cloud vendors only. Here the end user will be maintained only applications, data, runtime, middleware, and operating system. Rest of the four will be maintained by the cloud vendor only. Here, next move to the platform as a service. In the platform as in the service, except application and data, so the remaining services will be provided by the or managed by the cloud vendor only. So here the cloud will provide one platform. The cloud vendor will provide a platform for running our application, and they will provide the operating system also. They will provide the stack of servers and space for storage the data and connectivity for networking. All this will be provided by the cloud vendors only. Only the end user will be maintained on app and data from his side. Next one is move to the another cloud service provider is software as a services. In the software as a services, if the end user take the rental from the rental from the cloud, what the cloud will be provided the software as a services is all applications, all data, runtime, middleware, operating system, servers, virtualization, storage, and network. All this stuff will be managed by the ender. The end user need not maintain a single concept. He need not maintain anything. Everything will be bothered by the vendors only. So finally, we can conclude that it is better for go for utilizing the services offering by the cloud instead of setting our on-premises infrastructure and software and platform. This is the finally conclusion for that how cloud computing will be plays an important role nowadays in the market. Next, move to another slide. We already discussed various service models in the earlier slide. Next, move to another one is what are various deployment models offering by the cloud. Now, here we will see. So, there are various cloud deployment models offering models. The first one is deploying model is public cloud, and the second one is cloud private cloud, and the next third one is hybrid cloud. Public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud are well familiar cloud deployment models which are offering by the cloud computing technology. So now we will see the comparison between these three clouds and what exactly and where exactly we are using these services will be discussed now. So coming to the first one is public cloud. The public cloud accessible to everyone. There is no restrictions are that everyone can be accessible for the public cloud. Let me take an example, the services of a bus. So if you want to travel from one place to another place, the end user simply access the bus by booking the ticket, and one seat is to be reserved for him from starting the place to the destination place till starting to the destination place, reach to the destination place. He has to utilize the services provided by the bus only. So there is no restrictions on that. Everybody is having access to book the tickets into the bus. That is called as a public cloud. Instead of buying a bus, we need to simply book the ticket for the bus. We are effectively using the services offering by the bus. That is enough for maintaining the data in the database nowadays. So this is the best example for public cloud. Next, move to the another cloud is private cloud. So private cloud is nothing but it is owned by a single person. So private cloud is owned by a single person. Sometimes it can be owned by a organization, a particular organization. Further, they need to put some restrictions for security point of view. So let us discuss with private cloud with an example. Own a car. If you we own a car, the person has traveled on the car from starting place to the reached in the place, but it is somewhat costlier when you compare with the services offered by the public cloud. Why? Because we need to build the total infrastructure for that maintaining and for other purpose in the private cloud. Next, move to another cloud is hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is nothing but is a combination of both services offered by the cloud, public cloud, and private cloud. The combination of public cloud and private cloud will be combined together, and we can name this one as a hybrid cloud. In this hybrid cloud, we can betterly access the services offering by the public cloud and private cloud. Sometimes the end users need the services offering by the cloud like public cloud and private cloud. In this case, we can go for opting this hybrid cloud. So the hybrid cloud is also costlier. Why? Because we need to maintain the data for our database. We need to connect the data into the our infrastructure into the servers. And here the best example is taxi, booking a taxi. So rent a private taxi is one of the best example for hybrid cloud. So in this, the sometimes it may act as a public and sometimes it may act as a private only. So this is the best examples for cloud deployment models which are available in the market. We will discuss it clearly in this session. Next, move to the deployment models. Various types of cloud computing deployment models we already discussed: public, private, and hybrid. We will compare their characteristics here. The public cloud is very reliable one, and it is very inexpensive. It is not expensive that way because so here it is very inexpensive if you compare the private and hybrid one. And private maintaining the private cloud is one of the great control over that and very flexible for that and very securable and scalable also. So these are the various characteristics for the private cloud. And move to the hybrid cloud. It is very expensive. Cost is very expensive and flexible is there. Flexibility is there for that. And security and scalable are the characteristics. Some of the features are common and some of the features are unique if you observe in the cloud deployment models. And public cloud examples are so who are maintaining public clouds is the one of the question. For that, I will give the answer is AWS. AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services is one of the familiar cloud which is providing public cloud services for the end users. Next one is Microsoft Azure. Microsoft Azure is also one of the second largest cloud market which are available in the market. Next one is IBM Cloud. IBM Cloud, the name is IBM Blue Cloud. It is also one of the familiar public cloud. And another one is Sun Cloud. So not limited that, and we have many more public clouds available in the market. So the end users, based on the requirement, they may access the data freely from the connecting their resources to the cloud computing technology. Next one is private cloud here. So let us discuss about private cloud now. Here, private cloud can be owned by a particular organization or a particular person. So here the private cloud manages special hardware configurations or specifications. Why? Because they have their own requirements. Based on their requirements, and they give the quotation to the cloud maintained by the cloud people, and based on their requirement and their hardware configuration specifications, the cloud service providers will design and they will provide exclusive cloud service providing for the providing for the end users. That is called as a private cloud. So if you observe, if you see the best example for the best example for private cloud is SBI. SBI is maintaining their own cloud. The customers of SBI maybe effectively utilize the services by connecting their accounts through the internet. They can whatever the data hosted into the cloud, SBI cloud. Simply we need to track access the data through the services of the private cloud offering by the SBI. The best examples are of a private cloud as Amazon. As we said that Amazon is also acted as a private cloud. Now it can be acted as a public cloud also. Next one is VMware. VMware is also one of the Dell. Dell is the one of the familiar software company that is offering VMware cloud services in the market for private cloud services. Next, we move to another cloud is hybrid cloud. As I said that hybrid cloud is nothing but it is a combination of both private cloud and public cloud. Hybrid clouds will be rarely used nowadays. Whenever if you are using the situation is that hybrid clouds manages traffic levels during peak usage period. Traffic levels during peak usage period. That means that if you consider that sometimes the servers are running with a huge amount of the data, sometimes the servers are idle. So when the servers are running with a huge traffic, when the servers are running idle, if you observe that in the peak stage, at that time we need to go for, instead of maintaining public cloud, we can go for maintaining hybrid cloud. So this is one of the best example for hybrid clouds. Okay. Next, we will discuss about which type of service providers are available in the market. Who are the top service providers who are we will discuss in this slide now. So there are many cloud service providers are available in the market. The first one is the top cloud service provider is AWS. AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. The Amazon Web Services is one of the topmost cloud service provider available in the market. Almost it can occupy 33% of the total share in the market. The second highest range is come to the point Microsoft Azure. This is occupies the second place. And next one is IBM is also one of the cloud service provider, and VMware is offering by the Dell company. Next one is Google Cloud Platform. Google is also one of the familiar cloud service provider, and Digital Ocean is also one of the cloud service provider. It is offering well-defined cloud services in the market. So not limited these six. So many more cloud service providers are available market, but the leading one is AWS, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud platforms are playing an important role in the market. So if you observe this pic here, so the share, how the share of leading cloud services in the market are almost 33% of the market will be utilizing successfully for one of the cloud service familiar cloud service provider, that is called as AWS, Amazon Web Services. It can occupy 33% of the market in nowadays. Next, the second place is Microsoft Azure. The Microsoft Azure will be occupies second place. It can be utilizing the share leading 18 percentage. Next one is Google Cloud. It can occupies 8 percentage, and the least one is 2 percentage like Oracle, and another tenant clouds they are occupied like this. But always the Microsoft Web Services will be ruling the market from past 10 years onwards. It can be in future it may be raised to 50% also. Why? Because it never fails in the market. They are increasing their cloud service providers nowadays. So to overcome the problem, so many cloud service providers also struggling a lot to reach the goal of Amazon Web Services, but still they are failing into the market. So it can conclude that finally Amazon Web Services will be the leading one nowadays in the market. And let us discuss about Amazon Cloud. So, Amazon Cloud name is AWS, Amazon Web Services Cloud. This is the name of the cloud. But the Amazon Web Services Cloud is maintained by the software company that is called Amazon. So, the Amazon IT industry launched Amazon Web Cloud services in the market in the year of 2006, and so they are offering various cloud operations, software as a services, platform as a services, and infrastructure as a services. And some of the applications where they are effectively utilizing the services of Amazon Web Services Cloud are listed here. The first one is Netflix. What is Netflix? Netflix, if you observe that, if you see, so everything will be automation. Our smart televisions will be came into the market. If you are utilizing the services of smart mobiles or smart telephones and smart televisions daily, we simply watching the entertainment channels instead of our taking the rental from the local service providers or B2H channels. Simply we can utilize the services of the cloud. Here the Netflix is in software services which can be offering the cloud services offered by the Amazon. If we our television connect to the internet or connected to the cloud with the help of the internet. Once our television is connected to the cloud computing with the help of the internet, the Netflix app can retrieve the data from the database, whatever the entertainment channels available in the Amazon Web Cloud Services. So this is one of the familiar Netflix application which can access the data or which can retrieve the data from the cloud whenever we require or wherever you require. For that, there is no need to maintain any physical infrastructure, any software, and any other by the Netflix. Everything will be taken care of by the Amazon Web Cloud. Just so Amazon website will be giving a rental, providing rental services to the Netflix. Netflix will be pay the rental for a monthly basis or yearly basis to the Amazon Web Services. And another famous familiar one is Prime Videos. Prime Videos is also one of the entertainment channels. It is offering the software as a services to the Amazon web services. It can offering the Amazon web services services from the Amazon Web Cloud. And another one is a retail app that is called as a retail website that is called as the Amazon.in. It is one of the familiar, well-known retail application or website developed by the Amazon. And so they are not maintaining any physical stores, and they are maintaining, they are hosting the services into the cloud, and they are taking the services, they are utilizing the services, whatever the services offered by the Amazon Web Cloud. So nowadays, these three are well familiar, well known, and well developed applications which are taking the services from the cloud offered by the Amazon on rental basis. Next one is Microsoft. Microsoft is one of the well familiar software company, IT company. It was maintaining one of the cloud. The cloud name is Azure, Microsoft Azure Cloud. The Microsoft Azure Cloud launched in the year 2010 with some of the applications. The name of the application is Microsoft Office 365. The Microsoft Office 365 is the one of the cloud service application. So this Microsoft 365 offering Microsoft Word, Microsoft Windows, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Excel, and Microsoft Sheets, and also some Skype also. This is offering by the Microsoft Office. So everyone will be utilizing the services. Suppose if you want to access the Microsoft 365 services, instead of buying the software of Microsoft 365, simply we need to taking the rental services offered by the Azure. Either we go for rental service or we go for purchase the license copy of 365. If you purchase the license copy of 365, that is called as the on-premises. If you go for rental services of cloud, that is called as a cloud services. Next, one of the familiar cloud computing provider is Google Cloud. Google Cloud was launched in the year 2011. The Google Cloud is also providing some services, software as a services, platform as a services, and infrastructure as a services. Here we will discuss some of the well-defined service providers, services offering by the Google Cloud is Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza is an app developed by the Domino's Pizza. The app will be taking the software as a services from the Google Cloud. Simply, they need not maintain anything from their Domino's Pizza side. Everything will be taking rental from the Google Cloud. And also HSBC is also HSBC is one of the familiar banking services, US based banking services. So all the banking based IT services will be taking from the Google Cloud only. They are not maintaining any physical infrastructure in the US. And also one of the familiar, well-defined payment option that is called as a PayPal. PayPal is also one of the services offering by the Google Cloud, and they simply maintain one app only, but the software processing will be maintained by the Google Cloud only. They are not maintained, they are not having any licensed version of the copy of the PayPal. Simply, the PayPal is an application, Android app. Simply, they can utilize the software services offered by the Google Cloud. So we have been discussed AWS Cloud, Google Cloud, and also other clouds here. Next, move to the another slide. This is called as a cloud computing. Cloud computing benefits. What are the various benefits of the cloud computing? We will discuss in this session now. So, as we already discussed that there are many drawbacks if we are maintaining the setup, software as a setup, or a hardware as a setup, or infrastructure as a setup, platform as a setup. We need to maintain lot of or bulk number of computers, bulk number of stacks, and a database and space, and providing the huge number of huge number of bulk number of well defined or well known team members for maintaining and monitoring the infrastructure. And also we need to maintain provide the security for that if you are maintaining at on-premises setup. To overcome those problems, software cloud computing is one of the best technology which is offering some of the service providers in the market. Now we will see how cloud computing will be benefited for our end users. We will see the first one is data privacy and security, providing huge security for the cloud data. If the end user post their data into the cloud, the data posted into the cloud is very secure and very confidential. So how we can say it is secure is nothing but cloud computing service providers, the cloud computing service vendors are mainly provide the security. We don't bother from end user side, we don't bother anything for that. And next one is no maintenance worries. Once the data is hosted into the cloud, we don't bother about maintenance. Why? Because here the infrastructure like servers, like computers and networking, everything will be maintained by the cloud service providers only. We are the end users are do not maintaining anything from their side. Everything will be taken care by the cloud service providers only. Cloud computing will be benefited that no maintenance cost if we take the services of the cloud computing. And next one is faster data recovery. Accessing the data or recovering the data from the cloud is very fast to the if when compare them the access the data into our local system. Why? Because here we are retrieving the data or we are accessing the data through the help of the internet. If our internet speed is very high, we can fastly recover the data, and there is no need of storing the data, no need of destroy the data. If we maintain or storing the data into our local system, if the local system will be corrupted or local system will be damaged, we cannot recover the data from our local system. So this is the main problem. To overcome the problem, cloud computing is one of the cheapest and better technique for that retrieving or recovering the data from the database which we hosted the data into the cloud. And next one is scale dynamically. Scale dynamically is nothing but here we can focus on traffic, huge traffic and idle. Sometimes the servers are running with huge traffic, sometimes the servers are running with idle. So if you observe in your banking sector, so the banking sectors will be maintaining a huge number of stack of servers. where in the daytime working hours the servers are running with huge data, huge traffic. In the night time or in the closing time, after closing time, the servers will sit idle, the servers will be running with idle. So but when we set up these servers at home on premises, we have to maintain lot of data. Even the servers are idle, the servers are running with the huge traffic. We need to initially spend lot of money for maintaining the servers. But if we utilizing the cloud services, here the servers and the database, everything will be maintained by the cloud service providers. Whenever the servers running with traffic, huge traffic, whenever the servers are idle, we don't bother about that. When the servers are running with huge traffic, we need to pay rental for them. When the servers are running with idle, we don't pay anything. We no need to pay maintenance for that. So for that, whenever scaling up and scaling down will be dynamically adjusted when we host the application into the cloud computing. So scaling up means it will be balancing the cloud services effectively in the market. Next one is reduced cost. If we seen in the last slide, so the infrastructure into the on-premises and the infrastructure into the cloud. So we need to spend lot of money. We need to, for establishing, if we want to effectively utilizing the services from the cloud services, that is cheaper one. Even if you set up the these services at on premises physically, so that means that reduced cost is also one of the well familiar and one of the best thing for the cloud computing benefits. Finally, I can conclude that so these cloud computing will be benefited in terms of data privacy and security and the maintenance point of view, and accessing the data very fast and recovering the data from the database, and scale up and scale down the traffic controlling and reduce the cost. These are various cloud computing benefits which are available. And so move to the question and answer session. See here I have a question: what is cloud and where the cloud is exactly? Now, one of the familiar and important question is: are we in the cloud right now? So my answer, are we in the cloud right now, is yes. I can say yes, we are in the cloud right now, which means that we are using or we are accessing or we are hosting our stuff, daily generated digital stuff into the, we are hosting the stuff into the cloud with the help of the server. Whenever we require, we can access from the cloud with the help of the internet. Suppose take an example of Gmail. We are using Gmail services effective. So Gmail services effective means Gmail is providing the services as SaaS, software as a service. And Google Drive. So I want to store my data into my Google Drive. So that is also one of the cloud. I am utilizing cloud day-to-day life. So whatever the files I kept into my Google Drive, that files will be stored into the Google server. So I can access the Google server anywhere by any time. So this is one of the best example for that. So students, in this session, we briefly discussed about what is cloud and why cloud is exactly required, and what are various cloud services available in the market, and what are various cloud deployment models, cloud service providers, who are they, and how they are utilizing and they are providing the services to the end users. We discussed, and also finally we discussed what are the various benefits of the cloud. So in this session, we briefly discussed about the basic concepts. So now I am ending the session, and next class we will see the first unit concepts we will discuss in the next class. Thank you so much. Now I am ending the session.